or thought he'd never known. Maybe it was all that growing up he'd been doing, knowing that big things were ahead, big changes. What Jojo knew was that this year he had not been able to shift his thoughts from the man who'd disappeared when he was 5. Instead of looking forward to his summer holiday, Jojo had been dreading this moment, staying in the house that his dad had once called home, where he'd done all his growing up, in the bed he'd once slept in. Right then, Dad was all he could think about. Or perhaps it wasn't Dad himself he thought of, but the absence of him. He was missing. Truly missing. Not just from Jojo's world, but from his mind, from his heart, from all his rememberings. There was nothing in the huge open space where his dad should be. Nothing but one snippet of memory. And perhaps this, more than anything, was what kept Jojo up at night. That one memory of a voice above him. A deep voice, an excited voice, and the great big chasms where memories should be. "Don't worry, little man," said the voice that Jojo was sure was his dad's. "Don't look back. It's going to be okay." That was it. The entirety of Jojo's memories of his dad. 12 words. No pictures. No sign to say who was at the end of that meeting. But somehow Jojo was certain this was his father's voice. The memory had come to him one day when he was leaving school. His friend Bolu had just got into his own dad's taxi. Jojo waved goodbye, tried to turn, but found he could not take his eyes from his friend, caught in his father's embrace. Watching them, Jojo felt an ache in his heart, a longing for something unknown or something lost. Then the voice had spoken, clean out of the clear blue sky. "Don't worry, little man. Don't look back. It's going to be okay." It was all Jojo could do not to cry, but instead to hurry home. He couldn't ask Mum about it. She didn't talk about Dad. No one talked about Dad. For about the millionth time since he'd got there, Jojo checked his phone on the bedside table. It was about as useful as a brick here in Dor, the village that time forgot. There was no signal. He wondered if he'd rather have stayed in London, if he'd rather be heading to the shops with his friends than exploring the river with Grandad. He wondered if he'd rather be at Bolu's house, drawing and coming up with their ideas for the perfect comic than running around the park in Dor. Rather be there thinking of nothing much than here thinking only of a man he did not know and could never know. At least then he wouldn't feel this hollowed outness. There was no other word for it. Not just empty, but like something was missing. Like something had been taken. He wondered, as he had 1,000 times since the voice had spoken, if the past was best forgotten. There was no good in trying to claw back something that was long gone. The moon was full that night, and the sky was clear, and if Jojo had gone to the window of the little room, he would have had a clear view up and down the lane. He'd have seen the parked jeep and the old bike resting against the stone wall, the bin wheeled out for the bin man in the morning, the cottage's garden on this side of the road, and the big old barn on the other. He'd have seen a lone fox weaving across the field beyond. And if he'd kept watching, he'd have seen his holiday begin to take a strange turn. It started with a man dressed in black. He seemed to come from the barn across the way to stand in the middle of the road. But no door opened in the barn. He seemed to stare up at Jojo's window, but no eyes could be seen beneath his dark hood. Instead, a pair of stars twinkled in their place. He seemed then to be waiting. And indeed he was. In his waiting, the man in black toyed with a little sack attached to his belt. He reached in and pulled out what appeared to be